Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
That's right, for the Loft 100 studios here in sunny Southern California. So glad to be, you are along for this right here on the Big Biz Show, otherwise known in some parts as the Large Financial Program. Costa, Mary, Godwin.
That's Mike's alternate YouTube show.
That's right.
It's like
all the guests.
We used to do a thing called Pick My Shorts, where I would do stock picks on Sunday and tweet them out, or we did Pick My Shorts, and that was the stocks I was going to bet against. And then Monday, Russ would have, I put mine out 5 minutes after Sully puts his out. Let's say hi to the day trader trio there, James East. Jordan, Trace, Sojourn, Hodgins. Great to have you guys along today. On average, how much do you think you would need to earn annually to feel financially secure, comfortable, sort of call yourself rich?
Depends on where you live in the country, probably.
Here?
Here.
Oh, here, it's easily north of $100,000 a year.
Easily. I'd say north of 150.
Okay.
200.
The entrepreneur here, we like to call him Crash. Howie Font is from New York City. Howie has some astonishing news for you regarding what it would take to feel rich. On average, Americans believe they would have to earn how much, Howie, to feel financially secure and comfortable in this country?
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but it's an astounding, at least astounding to me, $186,000 on average throughout America.
Now, does that sound high to you, or does it sound low to you?
It sounds very high to me. I mean, when you're talking about the median salary in this country, it's $59,000.
Yeah, and I think for a family of four, it's something like 68 or something like that average. And I think in California, it's closer to 70. But to feel rich and financially free, how much money do you have to have in the bank? No, wait.
That was wicked.
How much for you to feel not like I'm going to be living on the Long Island Sound,
sure,
or living in Newport Harbor in California? How much? But say financially secure, living the life you want to live, not just barely making it in the trailer park. But at the same time, what do you think that number is to have in the bank?
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. I would think 200,000 in California.
No, I'm not talking per year. In the bank.
Oh, in the bank.
In the bank. Oh. In the bank. In your retirement account. How much you have to have to feel like?
At least $500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah.
$500,000?
Yeah.
Howie, what's that number?
$520,000.
Well,
thank God.
Now, that's up. That's up about 8% from last year, right? Last year was about 475, 480, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. And we're getting these numbers. They just came out earlier in the week from bankrate.com. Great website, great info. They do this survey annually. And I just can't believe, I wanted to talk about it with you all because I think it's really high, especially when you look at the reality. I think people maybe spend too much and they think that if I had $100,000 extra in salary, then I would start to save.
But didn't you tell me over the weekend, we were talking over the weekend, or maybe it was early in the week, you said something like people have average retirement has less than $10,000 in it for most of the, what was that number? Do you remember having that conversation with me?
Oh, no, I completely remember. There is a large portion, I think it's 27% have less than 10.
Wow.
And
but how old are they? I mean, are they 6 years old? Because that's pretty good if you're in first grade.
No. They're my age.
Fair enough. This data was looking at 20 to 40-year-olds. So it is.
So look at. Let's face it. If you are 40 years old watching this program and you're just starting out, okay, you probably are not going to retire until you're 70. You got 30 years. That's actually a time horizon that you could live with if you force yourself to put some dough away.
Yeah, you got to be.
Or Mike, dress scantily and find yourself a hot woman that has a lot of dough.
Which I've done.
I know.
So thank God.
Big Biz Show continues. Howie, stand by. I want to talk to you some more.
Great.
over 175 countries, all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. The brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what you do, what you have done for us. The Big Biz Show rolls on. I am Costa. That beautiful woman right there is Mary Burt Godwin. And that beautiful man right there is
Easy.
Sully. Easy.
I noticed the wardrobe change. I had a little bit
What happened there, kid?
wardrobe malfunction, and our sumptuous Loft 100 Studios has a plumbing problem.
Oh, did you get the sink splash?
Yeah, I've got in my office. I have this. I got a bathroom in there. It's a brand new thing where it's one of the things where you don't turn on. You do this.
Hate those.
Well, the top of the thing just somehow popped off, and it was wonderful.
Good stuff.
It was good. Howie Font is with us from New York talking about the market. So wait a second. So let's review the numbers. On average, Americans believe they would need to earn $186,000 annually to feel financially secure and comfortable. $186,000 nets you roughly $110,000 divided by 12 months is what? 110,000 divided, let's do some radio math, TV math, always good. 110,000 divided by 12 is roughly $9,000 a month net, okay? Now, $9,000 a month net. Let's talk about New York, California, Dallas, Texas, for example.
Sure.
Miami, Florida.
Yep.
Okay.
Chicago.
Your average housing cost, rental housing cost, is close to $5,000 a month. Howie, what's a rental cost in New York for a little crappy place for a family of four? About $8,000?
Oh, a family of four? I don't know. I mean, most people move out to Brooklyn or farther.
Yeah, but Brooklyn's getting pretty spendy and kitschy right now too, by the way.
No, that's right. I mean, it's going to be a $4,000 or $5,000 expense.
So that leaves
minimum.
you $1,000 a week.
Food.
For food,
Gas.
cable.
Expensive.
Cable.
If they have that, so I mean that's, and look at that seems like a lot of money, but if you're in a city like New York, anywhere in California,
Yep.
it's a ton. Now, and by the way, that's what people want to make. They're actually making $60,000 a year, median income, which means they're taking home roughly $40,000 a year, which is less than it's about $3,600 a month.
Jeez.
Take home.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, this is why the minimum wage argument gets interesting these days, because minimum wage workers are normally not wage earners. They're adding to the pile at home.
Yep.
It's your second job.
It's side hustle.
It's your side hustle.
Right.
Which is interesting, which is why also something needs to change in terms of how we view where we want to live.
Well, what have we been talking about on the show the last couple of weeks? You know, a lot of people moving to Indiana.
Yeah.
Tupelo.
What was it, Fort Wayne?
Fort
We said
Wayne.
Fort Wayne. We said, Howie?
We're going.
Fort
right.
Wayne, 170 grand.
All that speaks to cost savings, right?
But let me ask everybody here, okay? If we were to move this studio, okay, because we could to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I increased everybody's pay by 20%,
In a heartbeat.
would you guys move? God, jeez.
I
Hold on, here's the truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving truck just showed up.
Let's go.
I mean,
I was younger, I would say
because
no, but now I'm thinking I would join you.
But what's Fort Wayne look like?
It's beautiful.
Oh, is it
it?
really?
You get the seasons.
Is it though?
You get the seasons.
Are you juggling here? Howie, have you were in Fort Wayne? You were in Fort Wayne a couple weeks ago.
5% unemployment. I mean, yeah, Fort Wayne is cheap for a reason. That's true.
Chris Castillo, our producer Chris Castillo, can probably in a minute here, even while we're live on the air. Chris, can you pull up a picture or two of Fort Wayne? I just want to see what it looks like.
I want to see summer versus winter.
Look, I'll buy each a house.
Right?
How about this? I reduce your salary by 15%. I'll buy each a house.
Works for me.
I mean, how many people we got?
Yeah.
We got people running out of the
Chloe's in. Chloe's in.
I don't know if that's
You guys
gonna work out
band?
for you, Sully.
Well, I'll buy a house commensurate with where you are in your life. Okay. Chloe gets a studio.
Chloe and Devin get storage facilities.
Devin. Look at Meet Fort Wayne, Indiana.
See? Look at that booming downtown.
Cute.
Yeah.
That could be any city in the U.S.
You got
have no
some
idea.
green
You have no
spaces?
idea that that's Fort Wayne. Is there? Can you expand?
Everything's empty, by the way, in the photo. Not a single car.
Yeah, there's no
anywhere.
cars.
No.
One. I see one.
God, it's quiet there.
The city of tomorrow, Fort Wayne.
Howie, how realistic are the expectations? Honestly, how realistic are the expectations? As you say, 37% of people say they're likely to earn the salary needed to feel financially secure in their lifetime. And right now, the $186,000 is what people think they need to earn across this country, which seems like a big number to me, especially when the median income is $59,000.
It really does seem like a big number, and we both are in bi-coastal cities that are some of the most expensive property on the planet, working in industries that are kind of elevated.
But I don't think you could survive with a family of four. I don't think you could survive with a family of four on $60,000 median income. The average full-time year-round worker in 2022 made $79,000. Okay.
Yeah.
For a family of four, you can't live on the coast, or maybe you can. I just don't know where. I mean, how do you afford property?
You're definitely both working, and you're making. I mean, the reason why it's an average or a median is because it's roughly in the middle. I mean, there's a lot of people above and a lot of people, unfortunately, below. I don't think it's realistic, these numbers at all. And it's important in the survey to recognize that the question is for that $186,000 number that people are expecting. The question was not to be rich, but just to be comfortable. What do you need? And people are saying comfortable, not rich, is 186. That tells me.
Wait, that's comfortable?
That's comfortable.
Oh, I thought that was rich. No. What's rich?
Secure and comfortable. Rich is that 500. That
that's annually? Oh, I thought that's how much you had to have in the bank. Oh my God, that's even scarier.
Oh, it's hard out there.
What's interesting about this is you can't fix this in terms of legislation. Okay, you can't ask the housing market, which is a free market economy, to be cheaper. Part of the onus comes on us. I mean, everybody living in these cities is living in these cities because it's fun to live in. We often talk about the water view tax.
Yes.
We're paying a tax because we're next to the water.
Always.
Yep. Okay. And I think that's a piece of this that we need to understand. I think at the end of the day, if you had technology, for example, like a self-driving car, okay, that we trusted, your workday starts at 8 o'clock at your front door and ends at your front door at 5 p.m., okay? You could live anywhere you want. You don't have to live at the beach. You could live in the mountains because commuter businesses, commuters, I mean, if you lived out in, let's say, Fort Wayne versus Bloomington, okay? All right?
Yeah.
Probably not as desirable as Bloomington, but guess what?
No.
You get to start work and stay near your home the whole time. The quality of life changes a little bit, you know?
You move to Fort Wayne and shoot for Bloomington.
I think, by the way, I think what that does, that would increase home prices in Fort Wayne, wouldn't it?
Of course.
If you could commute from Fort Wayne, suddenly I could live anywhere and start work anywhere under my budget. I think that increases those prices. But I don't think there's a legislative answer to this thing because I think.
Well, you're seeing people vote with their feet. I mean, we're in year 3 or 4 of kind of an exodus from some of these higher priced areas to lower priced areas.
California to Texas, you know, and
Florida.
And Florida housing has skyrocketed on the back of that. So you're exactly right. You spell out something that's happening.
Have you ever watched Full Swing, the golf thing on Netflix?
Yeah.
I want to live in Jupiter. I want to live half-time in Jupiter. Right, like, look at, you have a place on the freaking canal.
Yes.
It's the color of turquoise.
Turquoise.
You got a dock in front of you, steps down to white sandy beach. Of course, you can't live there 6 months out of the year because it's 1,000 degrees and 1,000% humidity.
Right.
But then you live in Fort Wayne the other part of the year. Howie, I know that you're working on, for Monday's show, I know it's only Thursday, but Monday's show, you're going to talk about non-compete agreements, right? And
yeah, so there's been some legal news. Everybody start reading up on non-competes and the difference between non-disclosure agreements and the news in the judicial system, because there seems to be some pushback on the FTC's rulemaking.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I can't wait to hear from this, because I thought non-compete was unenforceable in several states.
Isn't it?
I thought it was in California.
Yeah. So I can't wait to.
That led the way for this, but now it's national, and there's some exceptions we should talk about. And I'm really interested to see what you, as a business owner, or someone who signs the back of a paycheck, as you say, or the front of a paycheck.
Because you only get to perspective when you sign the back of a paycheck, front of the paycheck. But I'll tell you, Howie, and thanks for joining. We'll see you Monday. How I feel about this is, if you are an employer and you teach somebody a skill.
Totally.
Why shouldn't they take that skill? That's just part of growing through life. I mean, why can't they take that skill elsewhere?
Maybe it's trade secrets and that kind of.
Well, trade secrets is a different story.
But maybe it's under the.
You take my recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken or Funyun powder, then you're in trouble.
Well, we have, I don't know, but we've eaten at George's at the Cove, right?
Yes.
Many times before.
Yeah.
George, when he trains those service people, they sign a contract. They have to stay for a minimum of 3 years.
Really?
It's a very high-paying job, but he's like,
I got no problem with that. If I'm gonna put the money in, you gotta stay.
Stay for 3, and he has people who's worked there 30 and 40 years as.
Don't you love those guys?
Absolutely.
The black pants, a white shirt. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What? Okay. What?
They're great.
Yeah.
They're not that nice, but they're.
Or the ones that never write it down. They just go, okay.
I hate that.
I do hate that.
We're gonna talk about that when we get back.
Okay.
All right. Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com.
Wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening, this is the Big Biz Show. Come to you live from Southern California. No longer the surface of the sun. Weather's changing a little bit. We're dying out here. I'm Costa.
It's almost 73 degrees.
Oh my God. That's Mary Godwin, of course, Sully.
Did I tell you I woke up last night, in the middle of the night, and the air conditioning went off, and it was 72 in the bedroom, and I was like pacing. Like, I cannot deal with 70. I need
What do you have it at?
66.
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah, I need it at freaking ice box temperature.
I want to dry age a steak if I have to in my bedroom.
I have like.
That's what I want.
It cold, but only 72.
No.
72 is
and
not,
a fan.
72 is like, give me a fan and AC and
I
a
have
wet
the fan
cloth.
going, but then I have like 4 blankets and my leg out. I have all these different varieties of.
Sounds like a complicated sort of.
Well, you know, it is.
Now, do you change your bed clothing for summer and winter? Like, do you have less? Do you have even more in the wintertime?
No, I have this kind of same thing where I have a temperature set, like during the winter.
Yeah.
I have the heater on, but then the door open.
I like that. I'm down. I'm down with that.
Blankets.
I'm not down with the air conditioning on the door open though.
No,
I don't do that.
I want to be a little cold. I want to have a
too.
blanket on the couch.
We've all been into the dairy section of Costco.
Yeah.
That's what I want in my bedroom. I want to wake up and go. I want to see my breath.
I do, and I think until I get my man cave and my own bifurcated AC, which would be at 62.
Absolutely.
Do you know why?
There's beds that you can get it.
Oh, believe me, I'm looking.
My friend swears by it.
I'm sleep numbering my temperature down to 60. I want to be like, it's a little cold around the pass there.
My son just got a bed jet.
What's a bed jet?
It's a cooling system that you hook up to underneath the blanket, and it keeps cold air circulating throughout your body, but it's underneath whatever sheet or blanket you're using.
I tell you, I found one solution. Have you seen these what are called weighted blankets?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But they're the chain link weighted blankets. They weigh about 40 pounds.
Chain link weighted.
It's made out of fabric, but it looks like chain link.
Okay.
And it's this. If you spread it out, it looks like a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And they're about 40 pounds.
Okay? Oh yeah.
But the answer last night was grab that thing from the living room, got on top of the covers, put that over me because it's got holes through it.
Yeah.
Wasn't really that warm, but I was able to basically, you had something making you feel like you were in bed.
Exactly.
It was fantastic.
Weighted blankets.
I have it right here.
Awesome. Okay.
I want to go sleep.
Tim Smith is the CEO of U.S. Goldmining. We had such a great time with him on the air that we wanted to have him back on a regular basis. USGO is the stock symbol of his company for U.S. Goldmining. And it's interesting because he left a very safe job at the world's largest gold mining operation called Newmont with all the resources, and then he went and joined the Goldmining Group. You're going to find out why one more time here as he joins us on the program. Tim, how are you, sir? Great to see you.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back on.
I love it. See, in his office there, it's 67.
Yep.
Right now, he's nice and cool. He's calm and he's not sweating.
But he has to leave us to land that flight from Tallahassee.
Hey, Tim. We never did get to that question why last time. I know we started. Why would you leave the dream job and start something? I mean, obviously, you guys are a good company. You're publicly traded, but it comes with all of the challenges of being a publicly traded company and everything else that goes along with it when you had it kind of made. What made you do that?
Well, maybe the quick answer is that I wanted to come to Alaska, just listening to your conversation there. And I got to say, it's beautiful up here. Yeah. It's about 51 degrees today. It's heading for 61.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Has just started.
It's
fantastic.
We're going to send a camera crew. We're sending a camera crew up there just to hang out with you for a couple of days, just so we can say we're.
You should do that. You should do that. Yeah.
What is? Why you saw something? It's not like you're new to this business. What made you sort of say, okay, I'm going to uproot my life and my family and everything else, and I'm going to move out here?
Well, my wife asked the same thing, obviously. Look, I was having a great time working for a major there, Newmont, world's biggest gold miner, and I had a fantastic title, frankly, a dream title. The problem is that the title was Director of Generative Exploration for North America. The problem is Newmont doesn't explore. So there was one critical ingredient missing from that job description. And so, I was excited by the potential I saw in our flagship Whistler Gold Copper project up here in Alaska. I think it really offers tremendous growth potential. We believe it's a company maker project. And so we launched U.S. Goldmining on the NASDAQ last year, April of 23, via an IPO. We raised $20 million to fund exploration and I guess launch the rediscovery of the Whistler project.
Yeah, talk about the Whistler Gold Copper project. It is a future mine development project, but every day it gets closer to reality. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're out here right now. We're drilling away. It's a big copper gold deposit. It's got almost 2 million gold equivalent ounces in indicated, another 4.7 million gold equivalent ounces in inferred, and in addition to that, it's a sizable copper project for 0.4 billion pounds or 400 million pounds, if you can put it that way, in the indicated category, and another 700 million pounds in inferred. It's a sizable project. It's in a great location. It's in the great state of Alaska, a resource-rich state, which has a great set of regulations. It is one of the top-tier states in the USA, but also anywhere in the world in terms of its geologic endowment, and it is also ranked consistently high for interest in mineral investment. Mineralization at Whistler comes right to surface. It's never been mined. It's a pristine gold deposit located just 100 miles from the largest city in Alaska, which of course is Anchorage, which is where I'm sitting right now.
Hey, Tim, talk about the arc of the story, because obviously we know what the end game is here. Where are you in that story right now? And what is our time frame? Because I know I got probably 17 emails. I mean, we have a celebrity on the air. I get 3 emails. We had you on the air talking about gold. I got 17 emails asking. What does that time frame look like for you? I know you're CEO of a public company. In as much as you can talk about that.
Of course, no, happy to. We get that question all the time. It's a great question, and right now it's the peak of the summer field season up here in northern latitudes. So we're drilling. The team is out there. Everything's running really smoothly. We had a great start to the season. We plan to go through until the early fall, which up here is probably early to mid-October. And our main objective is to really grow the size and the value of the Whistler Gold resource inventory. You need to define its full potential. We need to define the true enterprise value of what we have in the ground. And then after that, the plan is to put that into a mining plan. We call that a preliminary economic assessment. So after this year's drilling, we will redo our geologic models. We will re-estimate our resources, and the plan is to take it into the initial stages of mine planning via a preliminary economic assessment next year.
Tim Smith, CEO of U.S. Goldmining Inc., ticker symbol USGO. Tim, we've got about 40 seconds left. I'm curious. You mentioned October. Do you drill up into October and then wait till like the spring thaw comes around, or are you year-round?
We could drill year-round, but right now we really don't need to do that. We've got the equipment and the infrastructure to do that. So we're going to take our time to get a good season in. We're going to take those results. We're going to see some news coming out in the coming months here. We're going to be out marketing that news as it comes to hand. We're going to be busy with an upcoming conference season in September here. We've got the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Forum and the Denver Gold Show coming up. So we're going to be excited to get news in front of
we're heading your way, Tim. I'm heading your way. We're going to take a look at this. You're going to hear a lot more from Tim. Tim, thanks so much.
Sully.
I'm like salmon.
Tim, you have salmon? Tim Smith, CEO, U.S. Goldmining Corp. U.S. WGO is their stock symbol. Advancing and unlocking value in the Whistler Gold Copper projects in Alaska.
Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, our affiliates, and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any persons, or that investment in such securities would be profitable in general.
Given the nature of our company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for their securities, and investing is highly speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its host for the profile coverage.
3, 2, 1. From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stock if we are speaking about, interviewing, or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully.
And read the investor information available on the website.
On the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, at www.sec.gov.
Or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
Big Biz Show for the Loft 100 Studios. Glad you were along for the ride. Mike Costa here at the bar. Mary Burt Godwin over there at the bar. And of course, the man right there is Sully.
Great to have you along today. 125 million TV homes strong on BizTV, American Forces Network, and of course, Bloomberg, Flantiero. 15 million homes in Mexico, and of course, we're picking up 30 million homes in Bloomberg EU. They won't put us on Bloomberg USA primetime, but they will put us on Michael, at 1 a.m. apparently, coming up at the beginning of the year.
Really?
That works.
Hey,
Hey, look it.
I like it.
Like Wall Street Journal said 15 years ago, their business with a barroom slant.
Kind of.
Great to have you on. We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced. Better science, better results. Don't sprinkle it on your Wheaties.
I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way.
Talking about the fertilizer. Starbucks coffee, maybe you heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on some now.
Pumpkin spice latte's out.
Oh, no. Stop. Just stop.
Wait, excuse me, is it Black Friday now? Are we Christmas shopping this Friday?
Yeah, thank you.
Didn't pumpkin spice latte come out like November 1?
Yes.
Nope, it's out today.
Taylor Guitars, of course. I'm a featured artist. I use crayons as a medium, but I am a featured artist. Big Biz Show, thanks for coming along. I had a wardrobe malfunction at the beginning of the show, which is why I had to change clothes. But I thought my Professor Hand,
yes,
Mr. Hand from Fast Time shirt.
Oh, that was a good. I thought it was a great shirt,
I like
man.
that shirt.
No, I do too. Well, yeah. Some people can't wear patterns, Mike. Some people can.
I know.
Randy Mills is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Elutia, as in St. Lucia.
Been there.
Have you really?
Yep.
One of the shareholders, I believe, of this company, stock symbol ELUT, contacted us and said, "Hey, you got to interview these guys because they are bridging the gap between biologic and devices." And of course, when I heard the word cardiac rhythm, I had to have a chance. Great to have you on the air, Randy. I got to tell you, I got really sick in 2013. In fact, 11 years ago, they did a huge article on me here in San Diego. One of those big feature things with a full page thing. Oh, yeah. The night before, I'm doing afternoon drive radio in Kogo. And I was doing this show during the day. And I had to leave early. It was the afternoon, 3 to 6, right?
Yeah.
So 4:30, I'm thinking, I'm dying. I got something going on here. To have a bachelor drive himself to the emergency room, pack up a backpack, put an iPad in there, pair of board shorts, a t-shirt, and maybe a sweatshirt. I mean, I was thinking,
because
as a bachelor to do that.
Time's not of the essence.
You knew something was there. Yeah. They get in there and they say, well, you either have blood clot in your lungs or you have fluid around your heart. And I had the thing called pericarditis, which was fluid around my heart. Long story short, it wasn't a heart thing, but I ended up with atrial flutter.
Flutter, yeah.
Okay, and atrial fibrillation is another thing, was a little bit worse. I read this and I thought to myself, and I've battled this for years and years and years. And atrial fibrillation makes it so that if you are 35, 45, 55 years old, you can't walk up a flight of stairs without. Let's face it, me and Mike, I went up a flight of stairs. Yeah. But honestly, I couldn't move. And every year they said, you should have a cardiac ablation, which is when they put a piece of scar tissue in your heart and they get the electric. I kept on doing these things called cardioversions. Mike, clear. Like literally once a year. And it worked for 6 months. When I finally got a cardiac ablation, changed my life. But when I hear about pacemakers, I know I'm due for one in the next 20 years. It makes me think that we have not gone very far until I read about your company. We've not gone very far in pacemakers until you guys come along. Talk about your company for a minute.
Yeah, so you know, the interesting thing about things like technology like pacemakers and any of these long-term implantable devices, you know, this is going to sound strange, but when you get a splinter, right, your body reacts to it. It gets really inflamed and it gets red. It tries to do everything it can to push it out. Ultimately, you can very frequently...
the white blood cells, hence the redness and all that stuff.
The redness, but it's also trying to inject it, right? It doesn't want it in there, and then ultimately you end up with an infection. Well, here's the thing. Your body doesn't know the difference between a pacemaker and a splinter. And it responds the same way. Yeah. So you're in good company, right? 550,000 Americans a year get a pacemaker put into their body.
And it's for arrhythmia, cardiac, atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter, a number of reasons, right?
Heart block,
right?
Defibrillators. So, like, if your heart goes into a lethal rhythm, you know, and it will shock it and literally break. The point of it is, there's very few people going out and getting an elective pacemaker, right? These are very, very serious things. 550,000 times a year, 5 to 7% of the time, they fail, not because the pacemaker breaks, but because of this foreign body response. Okay. Your body's literally trying to reject it. It moves and it it falls down, or it literally expels from your body, or you get an infection. And so what we came along, we did, you know what, we can probably solve that.
Is the fact that it's such a huge business an indicator of us being more on top of our heart health, or
eating more Funyuns than we
should? More people like me who hydrate with gravy.
It's not a beverage.
Okay, it's
not a beverage.
But it is a food group.
News to me.
Yeah.
But are we more on top of, or are we finding stuff and catching it earlier?
Well, generally speaking, what you get a pacemaker for, you know about, right? That is one of those things, right? Where you are not able to function because you've gone into heart block. Your heart's not clicking. You need to go into the into the lab and
post that. By the way, asking for a friend. Post that surgery. Are people back to normal typically, or are they still?
They do fantastic. No. So there's a couple of, right? So there's pacemakers, right, that make your heart usually beat faster.
Yeah.
Right. There's also a huge category now. They're internal defibrillators, and that is just absolutely saves somebody's life. They go into cardiac arrest, and instead of, hey, where's the external defibrillator, it does it right away.
Okay, two things. So you've got the one device that's cleared for FDA, correct?
Yes.
And then what's the next one coming out? Do we expect?
We have another one. That's actually on the market.
What's the one? What did you just said? You just mentioned the name again, and so did Matt before.
Elupro.
Elupro.
Elupro's the pacemaker one. It's going to be a really big deal.
All right.
It is. The
said everybody that had a big deal.
All right.
It's called Kangaroo RM. Is that right? Am I saying that?
Elupro is Kangaroo RM.
Oh, it is. Okay.
When it was in development, it was Kangaroo RM. Now it's on the market.
Gotcha.
Behind that, we have SimpliDerm. SimpliDerm is actually a product that we're developing, or actually, it's a product we have on the market for women going through breast reconstruction. So this is, you get the unfortunate diagnosis of breast cancer. You have to have a mastectomy. There's not enough tissue left after you cut all that tissue out, right? And so you need to have something that holds the implant in place, or else it'll move, right? And so we have SimpliDerm right now is on the market, and it does that. And we're developing the antibiotic delivery version of SimpliDerm. And here's why. In pacemakers, we're talking about 3 to 5% infection rate. In women undergoing breast reconstruction, it is a staggering 15 to 22% postoperative.
Is it also for elective surgeries when women get breast implants? I've heard that
aesthetics?
the numbers are insane on how many people are getting infections based on that.
Believe it or not, as bad as aesthetics is, it's not nearly as bad
as
mastectomy.
Wow.
When you have to have
we
a
need you
mastectomy.
in studio every single day.
Wow.
Really?
Right? You're like literally the smartest guy I've ever
He's
met.
another hour show.
Mike, we have to talk after the show.
Yep.
We have to have a conversation. I can see it fitting nicely. It's Big Biz Show with Sully, Randy, and Mary Bird Godwin.
That was a good run.
It really was.
I tried.
It was a good walk. Let's face it.
With
Randy, thanks so much. Randy Mills, CEO, co-founder, Elutia. ELUT is their stock symbol. You can also go to Elutia, ELUTIA.com. We'll put that on our website. We'll tweet it out to our 100 million active people that you deal with. Followers, social followers. Yes, on TikTok, TikTok boozy, TikTok money. More Big Biz coming up. Stand by.
The Big Biz Show rolling on. Another fun day here at the Loft 100 Studios in beautiful Southern California. Hope you guys are having a great day. Always appreciate you being with us. I am Costa in the beautiful tan sweater. That beautiful lady right there is Mary Bird Godwin. And of course, Sully.
You know what I love about Mike? In the summertime, he is a tan sweater.
I'm going to get it waxed.
For Christmas, his wife asked for a heavy sweater. Mike showed up. Here we go.
You tan?
You're nasty to sweat.
I know.
I glisten.
A beautiful tan sweater, Mike Costa. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Mel Torme was the velvet fog. I'm the tan sweater.
Christian Kanstrup, CEO of Evaxion. EVAX is their stock symbol, and we've seen them on a tear here ever since we had them on the air. Evaxion-biotech.com, improving lives in the cancer space with AI-immunology. Christian, thanks for taking the time. I know you're all the way over in Europe, and it's probably midnight there or worse at this point, but thanks for joining us once again. I have to ask you one more time for our audience, as we keep on picking up new affiliates, to explain what AI-immunology is. Talk about that from the very beginning.
First of all, Sully, great to see you again and great being back. I mean, in short, AI-immunology is our advanced AI machine learning platform designed to discover and develop novel vaccine candidates for both cancer and infectious diseases. So it is about utilizing, you can say, the opportunities brought forth by AI and machine learning, as well as all the biological big data that we have available today, to being able to develop both cancer vaccines, but also vaccines for infectious diseases. And within the cancer area, we are working both on personalized cancer vaccines, which is possible due to AI-immunology, our AI platform, where we are designing cancer vaccines specifically for each individual patient. Also, within the infectious disease area, we are using the AI-immunology platform to discover vaccines much faster than what could be done with traditional methods. If you look at the traditional way of developing vaccines for infectious diseases, it could take up to 3 years to discover a target. We can do that in just 24 hours with AI-immunology. So in essence, it is about being able to discover and develop drugs faster, cheaper, and with lower risk, and also being able to discover novel vaccines which you cannot find with traditional methods. So in essence, it is about saving and improving lives with AI-immunology, which is also our purpose, Sully.
Christian, in layman's terms, let's say Sully and I came in and we both had cancer A, B, C, D. We could both come in with the exact same cancer, but at the same time need a vaccine that is polar opposite from the other?
Yeah, so it's one size does not fit all, correct?
Exactly. We would be designing a vaccine specifically for each of you. So it would not necessarily be the same, because when you look at people who unfortunately develop cancer, I mean, there's a lot of mutations, and the cancer mutations are different from patient to patient. And that also means that one drug doesn't necessarily fit all, and that's why we have taken the concept one step further and are developing personalized vaccines precisely tailored to the individual patient's mutations of the tumor, so thereby hopefully being able to provide a more efficacious therapy.
I've got a question. By the way, Christian Kanstrup's his name, CEO of Evaxion. EVAX is their stock symbol. If you want more information on the company, go to evaxion-biotech.com. You mentioned faster in terms of drug development. Now look, AI is based upon machine learning. It's based upon taking all of the existing data out there in the world and applying it to whatever specific either term, science, business that you plug into it, and it gives you the best practices that, currently it's about 85% accurate. Coming back, let's say if you write something. In terms of medicine though, is it taking advantage of everything everyone knows so far that's published about, let's say, immunology and metastatic cancer? And is that why it goes faster? Is that the reason it moves faster? Is because it's just a more efficient model, or is there actual thinking going on here that's moving the needle?
Well, I mean, there are many things behind this. I mean, in essence, if you look at what you need to be able to do, you need to be able to decode the human immune system. And being able to do that in an effective way, you need a significant computational power. On top of that, you need to be able to process vast amount of data. And if you look at Evaxion, interestingly enough, we were actually founded back in 2008, long before there was anything even coined AI as such, with the objective of using machine learning and computational power to decode the human immune system. And that also means that we, during the past 15 years, have been training our model on both publicly available data, but also, very importantly, on data that we have been generating our own proprietary data, both from preclinical studies, but also from clinical studies, which have significantly increased the, precision of our AI model to predict the right targets. And with that, of course, also comes the speed that we are capable of designing or discovering a novel target in just 24 hours. So it's both about the speed, but also importantly, it's very much about being able to pick the vaccine candidates which are expected to be most efficacious, because one thing is speed, but you also need to ensure that you actually have a vaccine candidate that works for either the individual cancer patient or in a infectious disease population.
Hey, Christian, we have about a minute left. Can you tell me how the FDA is reacting to all this? It's moving so fast, and I don't know if the FDA works that fast.
Yeah, I mean, are they poo-pooing AI?
Right.
Because FDA is about facts and about science, right? AI is kind of newfangled in terms of that. Are they? That's a great question, man.
I think the simplest way to put this is for our lead candidate, EVX-01, which is in phase 2 clinical trial and actually reporting out with 1 year efficacy data next month. There we have fast track designation from FDA. So that indicates that even though things are moving fast, there's also the common understanding that with 10 million patients dying a year due to cancer, we simply need more efficacious treatments. And that is what we can bring with AI-immunology.
Good stuff. Christian Kanstrup's his name. Christian, thank you so much. Can't wait for you to come into the States here and hang out with us for a whole hour at some point. Either way, we'll see you next week on the air. Come on. Get back out here. That's where we met him in the first place. Howie and Evan went out there and saw him at one of the biotech conferences.
Yes.
Right. All right, that does it for us. Big Biz Show for a Thursday. Tomorrow is not Casual Friday, but it is I Slept in My Car Thursday. There's that tan sweater. Who's a tan sweater is wearing a tan sweater? How rare is that?
A hat on a hat.